Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the AEW Dynamite Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 1640 of the show. How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone is having a very blessed day. That's right, and it's time to report on what happened last night at AEW Dynamite. It's the Fallout Farm All In Wembley Stadium. But it's not at Wembley Stadium. It is, excuse me for just a second here, folks. My fellow... That was my homeboy from Massachusetts, fellow Massachusetts native, James Dennis. He usually sends me the baseball news and the link for the Dugout Crew podcast we'll be hosting later on in the afternoon. I was kind of concerned, and he said he forgot to do it. Simple as that. Hey, no big deal. As long as he got it, well, it's good to hear. He's a busy dude. Busy young man. Gotta like that about David. Busy young man. Keep yourself busy, have a good attitude, and you're good. Alrighty then, let's talk about what happened at AEW Dynamite last night. Jon Moxley, interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and he said basically he had an interview. There's a lot going on through his mind. We don't know what's going on. He said, "This is not your company anymore." I don't know what he meant by that, but it seems like to me now a lot of speculation going around that Shane McMahon's behind the thing. I don't know what the heck is going on. Could it be a storyline where it could lead into a crossover with the WWE? I don't know. We don't know. I'm taking, lots of questions lots of unanswered questions. And unanswered questions from that promo of Jon Moxley. We will soon find out in the future what's going on. Renee Paquette interviewed the conglomeration and Hook. And as you know, Will Nightingale had an idea for her title defense against Chris Statlander, the CMLL Women's Championship. She said that it will be a good old-fashioned Chicago street fight since it's taking place in Chicago, all out, in a couple of weeks. So it will be a Chicago street fight. One of the members of the conglomeration, Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull, took on Hangman Adam Page. These two guys, Hangman Adam Page, the state of mind that he's been in as of late, has been one of, I'll tell you one thing, you don't want to mess with the man. But I'll tell you one thing, I thought for sure he'd be the next Undertaker, for goodness sakes. The way he's always focused and all that. But he knows, and I think ever since Swerve broke into his house, Swerve Strickland broke into his house and basically checked out his son and all that, Hangman Adam Page has not been the same. I mean, not a lot of folks understand this at all, The Young Bucks don't understand it. And you know what, dude? And you know what, bro? It's something that, this is something that I really don't know. But then after the matchup, Hangman and Page won. After the matchup, Swerve Strickland came out with Prince Nana addressing Page. And then Page, I thought, Page was about to go out. He said, "How about this? You and I couldn't contain us." And he said about a steel cage. So at All Out, Chicago, steel cage match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. These two, I'll tell you one thing, Hangman Adam Page, I'm telling you right now, Swerve Strickland, I don't think it's a good idea for you to be in the ring with that maniac, but let me tell you, it's going to be a heck of a fight. Women's action, Jamie Hayter making her return at All In, and she says she's going after those who cost her the championship, and, I don't know if Toni Storm's ever going to come back. She lost her title to Mariah May. A little bit more on her, Mariah May, the new champ. And Jamie Hayter went one-on-one with Harley Cameron. Well, you can't get Toni Storm. You get the next best thing. Another hot Australian in Harley Cameron. And Jamie Hayter beat her. Unfortunately, I was concerned about Harley Cameron because she's got this funny personality, and they did a post-match interview on X, where Saraya says, Jamie Hayter, what's wrong with you and all that, and while she was talking, you hear Harley, yep, all right, and trying to do a hand puppet. So hilarious. Love Harley Cameron. But Jamie Hayter is back, and she's full of P&V, and watch out, Saraya. I think she's targeting you. Renee Paquette, a woman at work here, speaking of which, interviewed the Learning Tree and Roderick Strong. Hi, guys! You got the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho looking like a total jerk. And then you got Brian Keith, who hikes up his pants like Steve Urkel. Respect Chris Jericho. And he's acting like in bad mood all the time. And you got Big Bill, who's still 7 feet tall, but he's SAWFT soft. Get that joke. And then you got Roderick Strong, who looks like Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. I was like, what kind of a jerk are these four stooges? Was it Learning Tree and Roderick Strong, more like Mo, Larry, Curly, and Shemp. I'm telling you. Anyways, MJF comes out and he was in a bad mood. I am hurt. I'm not in a good mood. If you don't shut up when I'm beating each and every one of you, oh yeah, ooh, we're scared, MJF. You Beavis looking butthead. Yeah, I said it again. I'll say it more times than I did Capcom Fighting Collection. And I don't have to worry about hyping that up because, the second Capcom Fighting Collection was not as cool as the first one, but I'll take it. All right, but I'm still gonna buy it anyways. Regardless. Anyways. And that Beavis looking butt at MJF still whine and cry. And I don't know what happened to my ring. Daniel Garcia, I'm gonna get you. Daniel Garcia once again attacked MJF on thank you God. Somebody shut him up. It was Daniel Garcia. I'm gonna do the dance for him. That thing. Daniel Garcia shut MJF up, beat the snot out of him. How about this? He said, you and me in a matchup, 1-on-1. Even Christopher Daniels is freaking out about the thing. I hope both of them survive. And he says, and then when he tweeted that MJF tweeted that his Dynamite ring was stolen, he said, you want to know what happened to your ring? I took it and I pawned it to get to London. Ha ha! Thank you. He's been using that sucker as a weapon. I am so glad that freaking Daniel Garcia pawned that ring off. Yeah. The jerk. That's what freaking. That's what I think of MJF now. That little clown, Beavis-looking butt-headed jerk. That's what you get. That's what you get, MJF, for hurting somebody hurting Daniel Garcia. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. 8-man tag match. Hook and the Conglomeration against Roderick Strong and the Learning Tree, and Big Bill. He had a quote of Tony Schiavone on his tights. Was it a whole lot of man? I'm like, are you gonna be kidding me? He's got a commentator's quote on his tights, on his butt. That's how funny it was. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So, anyways, I could not believe it, but I'm sure Tony Schiavone probably take it as a compliment. I don't know, but might I digress. Anyways, Hook and Conglomeration won the matchup, but then, like the sore losers that they are, the Undisputed Kingdom, along Roderick Strong, joined by Taven and Bennett, and the Learning Tree, attacked Hook and the Conglomeration, and they decided to attack Hook, and the Undisputed Kingdom did, and Roderick Strong held up the FTW title. Roderick Strong, don't do this, man. Jericho learned this lesson. Don't you learn what happened to Jericho at All In, you goop? Oh, my. You goober. That little Ned Flanders wannabe, man. Let me tell you. You gotta be seriously kidding me. Gotta be seriously kidding me with this crap. Anyways. Mercedes Moné was celebrating her retaining the TBS title against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And then the private party interrupts her and says, I'll tell you how this thing works. We don't have a party without private party. And then Kazuchika Okada was invited to the party. I think he's a thing for Mercedes Moné. How do you say goodbye in Japanese? And, it's sayonara. And then all of a sudden, Okada's like, you want to go? And you see Camille's like, bye. Bye. And Private Party, leave. Yeah. Private Party, don't mess with Mercedes Moné, my friends. It ain't worth it, dude. It ain't worth it. Tony Schiavone interviewed Mariah May, the new AEW Women's World Champion, and she was trying to seduce Tony Schiavone. She's like, no. And I think, so who is Mariah May going to be targeted by next? All I know is we still got the factor of Mina Shirakawa. How is she going to factor in with Mariah May? We'll find that out, because tomorrow night she'll be on it, and she'll be in action on Rampage. I can't wait to see the lovely Mina Shirakawa once again. Play that song. And Mina Shirakawa's theme song reminds me of the Numa guy's theme song. You know, like it makes you want to go Numa, hey. You know, Eric, you can be like that Numa guy. Shut up. Anyways, we'll see what happens. The Grizzled Young Veterans addressed the AEW Women AEW Tag Division, and Zach Gibson and James Drake will be in action tomorrow night on Rampage as they take on the Outrunners. Miso's got him. I'll tell you what, they're Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, boys. You're gonna have to stop the goofing around, and Erica Lee, stay out of the way, because the Grizzled Young Veterans, they ain't playing around. Even though the Young Bucks interrupt them, and then they address making their debut on Rampage against the Outrunners. Meanwhile, for the next match, Don Callis was on commentary. With his next match, Ricochet versus the Protostar. I like the name Protostar. It's like a superstar. You got Prototype. Combine the two. Boom. Gotta love Kyle Fletcher. I'm having to respect. I'm starting to respect more to Kyle Fletcher. And I like it when Don Callis takes some of the young superstars. Now, a lot of people don't trust Don Callis, but I got to give him credit for the talent that he's picked so far for his stable has been very good. I mean, it's an international conglomeration, if pardon the pun, if you think about it. You got Rush from Mexico, Konosuke Takeshita from Japan, you got, Will Hobbs from the States, and then you got Kyle Fletcher from Australia, and sometimes Will Ospreay from England. Kyle Fletcher and Ricochet went one-on-one. Heck of a match. It could have gone either way. Ricochet ended up winning the match. Then Will Ospreay comes out, addresses Ricochet, and issues a challenge to him. And Ricochet's like, fine. But Pac attacked Will Ospreay, and he says, yep, no one gets inside of me. And he points at Ricochet, you might be next if you don't watch yourself. So for all out in Chicago, the international title will be on the line. Will Ospreay versus the Bastard Pac. Two new champions. That's right. Pac is 1/3 of the Trios champions with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. The Blackpool Combat Club. John Moxley was hanging out talking with security, but then Marina Shafir attacking both of them, and then he walk away after. So what's going on? What's this alliance between Marina Shafir and John Moxley? That's another question. John Moxley said to Tony Schiavone, this isn't in your company anymore. And at the same time, I mean, are the Young Bucks behind it? Is the Elite going to be targeted? We don't know. What's going through John Moxley's mind now that Marina Shafir has aligned herself with him? What's going on? This might be a storyline that we could end up being invested in. So maybe there's something, if AEW is desperate to pick things up, probably John Moxley and Marina Shafir can get the ball rolling with that. We'll find out in the upcoming weeks, in the upcoming months. Bryan Danielson addresses being world champion, and he decided that he'll keep going until he loses the AEW world title. The minute that he loses the AEW world title, he will retire. That's a big stipulation. So that means who? But then Jack Perry interrupts Bryan Danielson, and then ends up attacking him from behind and held up both the World and TNT titles. A lot of people don't like Jack Perry. What does... yeah?
Sorry.
Good thing I paused that. Good thing I paused that. My mother. She's telling me she's giving me some instructions. Being up here in this room is a bonus, let me tell you. That's all I'm going to say. So, sorry about that, folks. So... we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on AEW Rampage. Fallout from All In Part 2. And then we got Collision. It's going to be very interesting because it's going to be an interesting week. The weekend is going to be huge because we got back-to-back PLE events in Bash in Berlin and No Mercy, NXT No Mercy from the WWE. We got Collision in between. We got everything going on here. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. On the next episode will be Press Your Luck. That's right, the final network throwdown Thursday of August 2024. Until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.